Iron Fist New York Comic Con teaser trailer. Now, this is the last Defender before we get the Defenders, and then we go on to, I assume, the Punisher, and then I guess Jessica Jones season 2 is going to be after that, or maybe before it. There's a bunch of stuff happening because everything on Netflix that is Marvel related is just sweet. So who knows when the other stuff is coming out. But Iron Fist is coming out. It was already announced with, I guess, the last trailer. I don't believe. Yeah, I guess the most recent trailer was this, and then they had like another teaser trailer that either came out after this or it was like right before it, I guess, before they did the release date. And so we find out that this thing is coming out in March. So I was excited for that because I recently finished Luke Cage, and all I was thinking was, I don't know when this is going to come out. I figured it would be like summer or kind of like this time next year we'd be getting Iron Fist. I was like, it kind of sucks, but I think it'll be like a year away because that's kind of how things have sort of played out. It's like, alright, it's almost like a full year or something close to it. And this is like, nope, it's coming out in March. I mean, that's still kind of like basically half a year. But I still thought that was great. I was like, that's still way sooner than I was expecting. So I was super happy about that. And then, just this whole trailer was really sweet. Like, I just really enjoyed it. And I was like, this trailer is freaking cool. We get a bunch of flashes here and there of martial arts. We get our hallway, classic staple of apparently the Marvel Netflix universe now. It's just going to be a thing. There's got to be a hallway scene. And we got some cool stuff. We got some new characters. We got one old character, which if you watch Daredevil, you're probably as excited as me, because Madame Gao has some secrets, and they introduced that junk. I think it was in the first season of Daredevil, and I was like, okay, she's not normal, and I want to know what's happening. And I think we might finally get that, because she wasn't a big part of Daredevil season 2. She showed up, but I was like, that wasn't a big thing. And she showed up in this trailer. I hope she's one of the main villains, and I would love to see her in a main villain role, because she was a part of the main villain thing in the first season of Daredevil, but obviously it's Kingpin that's like, the big bad. So I hope she is like the main villain, or at least one. She probably won't be the main villain, but I do hope that she at least gets a big chunk, and I can't wait to see what they do with that, because there's some mystical stuff going on with that woman, and I can't wait to see what it is and how she ends up being connected to, Danny and all this other stuff. So, excuse me, I was glad she was in like one of the first clips too, and I was so happy when I saw that. I was like, yes, Madame Gao is in this. She's important, and I want to learn her secrets. I want to know what her deal is, where she trained, all this, what she's got going on. So, I'm excited to see what they do with her. We got some other new characters coming into play. We have this woman who has a katana on her back, which obviously I love that. So I was like, I don't care who she is or what she does. She has a katana, so she's great in my book. And we got to see some cool action. Like I said, we got those snippets. We got the stuff with Danny when he's in the plane crash. He sees the monks and stuff like that. So I'm excited to, we get his backstory, and I kind of know his like a tiny bit, and I always connect him to Doctor Strange, because it's like, oh, they kind of had the same sort of situation. Like, they both trained mystically with the monks, and Doctor Strange went like, full magic, and Danny went sort of magic and martial arts. It was sort of a blend for him, but he was also kind of given that power through like random chance or whatever. So I'm excited to see what we're going to be getting as far as the action in this, because I love some good martial arts action, and that's one of my favorite things about Daredevil is we get to see a bunch of flips and kicks and CQC and really good use of martial arts weapons and stuff like that. So I'm hoping we get a lot of that from this new character who comes in, first scene she's got a katana on her back. So I'm hoping we get to see a lot of, good weapon use in this season. And I know we're going to get a ton of hand-to-hand stuff, because that's how he fights. Like, the dude, like, the glowing fist thing also, I was curious how they were going to do that, because I've only seen his character animated. So, in animated forms, it's always like, it's basically like just a ball of fire is just on his hands, and he's punching and stuff. But this, I was like, that actually looked amazing, where it's like his hands are glowing, they do the effect, and you see like his veins and stuff in his hand. And I was like, that I love. I think that's really cool. We get to see the symbol on his chest. I don't know if that'll be a permanent tattoo or what, But I guess at this point it kind of makes sense because really no one has their costumes except for Daredevil. So I don't know how far they're gonna push it, especially with Danny, because like Jessica and Luke have fairly simple costumes. Like their costumes are kind of like just their clothes, like because they don't really do like the big superhero thing. They kind of just wear outfits and then they're good to go. Like Jessica's is a little bit bigger depending on when you choose the costume, I guess, or, you know, what era of her character. But you got Daredevil, who's always in this, you know, this full red, and then Danny is always in a full costume as well, and it's, you know, especially depending on what version of him you see, it could be like the giant V or, you know, the super huge collar or whatever. So I don't know how far they're gonna push that in this first season. Um, More recent, you know, images I've seen of, you know, once people start talking about the promotional stuff with the show coming out, I've seen a lot of him in a bit of a simpler outfit that's very reminiscent of Bruce Lee's Game of Death outfit, except the colors are reversed. It's a black outfit with a yellow stripe and the a yellow symbol instead of a black symbol. So I thought that was pretty cool, and I'd love to see that. But I don't know how far they're gonna push it, and if the tattoo's just gonna be on his chest, which makes me think they might do the giant V thing, where it's like he's just got an open shirt and it's just you know, a tattoo on his chest, which I think would actually look really funny. But I don't think they're actually gonna go that route. Could easily be wrong, but they might make a reference to that with just the giant V. But I'm excited to see what they do with this. I can't wait to see all the martial arts and stuff because I love martial arts. Um, you know, the way, like I said, the way they show his power I thought was really good. And we don't get to see too much, but I'm definitely excited. They show, I believe that was like Hogarth's place, the lawyer, because she is like his family's lawyer. So I assume the scene of him like walking up and taking out the headphones and looking at the building, I think that might be him like when he first gets back to society and it's like, okay, people thought I was dead since I was like a kid or something. I don't know. Like I said, I don't really know his story that much, but he's clearly trains for a super long time, so I assume he trained from the time he was a kid to the time he's an adult, and then it's like, poof, I'm alive. Give me all of my money, since you're my family lawyer, you know where everything is. I'm just going to take all this back, and now it's mine. So I feel like that's what that first scene was meant to be, or, you know, the scene of him walking and, you know, looking up at the building, like, alright, this is where I go to get what's rightfully mine, and, you know, what's owned by my family. So I think that's how that scene plays out initially. Like I said, of course, I could be totally wrong because I don't know the character's actual history. But I'm super excited. I love this trailer. I'm so happy to see Madame Gao in this. I don't know. That was another thing I was curious about with it being the show right before the Defenders. Is this going to be our first actual like crossover series where we actually see some heroes fighting together? Because, you know, we haven't had that yet. We technically did because of Jessica Jones, because her and Luke Cage fight those guys in a bar. Sorry if that was a spoiler, but it's a random scene, and if you're watching this, then you haven't seen Jessica Jones, you did not care to see it by now. So, you know, we technically had that, but I am curious if we're gonna get it or not in Iron Fist show. Like, are we gonna get the, you know, two full characters? I feel like it would be Daredevil because it seems like he's actually gonna be in Hell's Kitchen if he's going to Hogarth and everything. So, you know, maybe we'll get to see that. You know, maybe not. I don't know, but I would love to see it. We actually get to see two heroes fighting together. You know, they're always close, but they're just never close enough to actually get with everybody. But I'm excited to see it. You know, it's our last show before the Defenders. I feel like they're going to throw some hand in there, and I don't know how they're going to end it to bring everyone together, because of course it's still in the cinematic universe. So I'm wondering if this will be, if this will be like our biggest connection to the cinematic universe. Because so far it's just like, oh, if I was this dude or if I was that dude, and they just drop Iron Man and Thor all the time. That's been our biggest connection so far. We haven't had like Coulson come in or anyone from S.H.I.E.L.D. or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or of course any of the movies or anything come into play. It's just been mentioned. You know, it's like this is happening here, this is happening there. I don't think they've even mentioned those people in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. yet. I think they may have mentioned Daredevil once. Like they may have like mentioned Hell's Kitchen in an episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. last season. But, you know, at this point we all know there isn't much crossplay between, you know, the three segments that they've got with the movies and then Netflix and then, you know, the TV show. But maybe we'll finally get that. With this being the final thing, and they're, of course, leading to bringing them together. Maybe that's when they'll get the full mention. It's like, hey, there's 4F superheroes fighting a bunch of people. That'll probably get some reference, at least in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but maybe not in this first season of Iron Fist. I would love to see that, but there's a lot I'm hoping to see in this. I want to see some early crossover stuff, pre-Defenders. I don't know what they're going to be doing. I don't know if Madame Gao's going to stick around, if she's going to survive to go into Daredevil Season 3, or what the deal is. I would love to see it if she did transfer from Daredevil to becoming a main part of Iron Fist, because I think it would fit with what the inch of information we've seen from her actual character. But there's so much. We got one more show and then Defenders, and I wish I could just jump to the future right now. Like, I just want to see how they bring these 4 characters together, because I assume this is going to feel very different from the other 3 shows. Luke Cage felt different from Daredevil and Jessica Jones, which I was worried about. Jessica Jones, when that first came out, I was worried how similar is this going to feel to Daredevil. So all 3 of those have very distinct feels to them. I'm hoping this has the same. I think this will go like full martial arts, and I know Daredevil kind of went that way a little bit in the last season with some of the stuff they did, but this is literally just like, this is full martial arts, and plus we get the magic side of things. It'll come out technically after Doctor Strange, but this will be a really deep dive into some of the magic in the cinematic universe, which I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see that for Doctor Strange, because it'll be the first time we're really getting into it, and then we'll get an even deeper look, with what I assume is going to be the 13 episodes of this first season of Iron Fist. So I'm really excited. We're going to get a ton of martial arts. We're going to get a ton of magic. We're going to get, hopefully, some secrets on Madame Gao, which I can't freaking wait to see. Maybe we'll get some more, crossovers. We might just see Jessica Jones walking past, like, hey, whatever, when he goes to see Hogarth. But I'm excited. I'm really excited for this. Love the trailer. Of course, want to know what you guys thought about it, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, at least favorite parts. And of course, this is the last freaking series before we get our 4 Netflix Marvel heroes together in one freaking show. And I just want to know what you guys want to see for this. Whether it's from the character's history, cameos from other characters, cameos. I'm sure they're going to do cameos. That's pretty much a guarantee. Hogarth is basically, it's known already that she's going to be in it. But I'm curious what other crossovers we might get. They did a lot of that in, I shouldn't say a lot, but they did it in Luke Cage. They had 2 crossovers. Technically 3 if you count Claire, but I don't really count her as a crossover, because once they did it with Jessica Jones, it was like, okay, Claire is kind of meant to be kind of the string that brings everyone together, and of course she's going to be in Iron Fist. That's pretty much guaranteed. It's like, she went from Daredevil to Jessica Jones. That was a shock. And she's in the poster for Luke Cage, so it wasn't a surprise when that happened. It was like, oh, she's going to be in Luke Cage. So she's like the main string, and so of course she's going to be in Iron Fist. If you haven't seen Luke Cage yet, I won't spoil how, but they do give a hint as to how she'll be in Iron Fist. So that's known. That was known ahead of time anyway. Like I said, it was clear she's meant to be like the underlying string that brings them all in together. So don't know how it's going to play out exactly, but I'm really excited to see it. Like I said, want to know what you guys want to see in this first season of Iron Fist, whether it's cameo stuff, overall cinematic universe stuff, specifically Iron Fist and Luke Cage stuff, because they are the hero for hire team. And of course, I want to know what you guys thought about the trailer in general, so please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.